Hello, hello, my friends. It is past the halfway point of the month of January. I know, hard to believe. I feel like we were just ringing in the new year. But that means that it is time for me to get back on track with a series that I typically like to do on my channel twice a month, which is my candle empties. Now, the reason why I like to do it twice a month instead of at one time a month is because, quite frankly, I burn through a lot of candles, and I feel like empties are probably the best review that you can give for a fragrance or for a specific candle because I've already burned it all the way through. I'm going to let you guys know how it performed. And I like to be able to just give a little bit more time to each one of these candles when I talk about them. So by splitting this up into a two-parter for the month, I feel like I can do that a little bit more accurately. So if you like empties videos, cozy up, go grab a snack, grab a hot drink, and let's go ahead and talk about some candles. So as always, all of the candles that I'm talking about, as well as any affiliate discount codes that I have, will be listed down below in the description box. I do typically put timestamps down there for you to reference back as well. Yeah, all sorts of fun, good stuff there. Please hit thumbs up if you like this video. And if you're just coming across my channel for the first time, hi, I'm Katie. I love to talk all things candles here on my channel. So if you like candle content, please consider hitting that subscribe button before you get on out of here. But let's go ahead and talk about all of the fragrances that I have already burned up. You guys, I've made a pretty significant dent already in the first part of January. Now, in fairness, I am going to say that a lot of these candles I did start burning all the way back in November. Some of them I set aside, brought them back out in the early part of January. But others of these I did start burning in the month of December. So just know that, like, I don't think there's any of these that I started burning in January and then I already finished them up. So let's go ahead and start out with a Yankee Candle, which some of you guys might be a little bit surprised to see this. This is Yankee Candle's Buttercream, and this is in one of their like large single wick, old school paraffin wax jars. Now, I believe that I purchased this candle way back during the summer of 2024 when they were having their semi-annual sale. When Yankee does that, sometimes they have a special offer of like 4 for 48. And then I think I had a coupon. So this candle, I think, came out to being like $8 or something like that. It was a screaming deal. Now, I don't have the fragrance notes in front of me, but this is a very good, authentic buttercream frosting type of fragrance. I really, really like this scent. And so this was a fragrance that I actually started burning in the month of November. And I found this to be a great complementary fragrance to so many candles that I was burning, like I said, November, December, even in early January here, because it's a gourmand, but because it's like a vanilla, it's just like a basic good gourmand vanilla fragrance. It just blended so well with tree fragrances, with like cinnamon roll type of fragrances. It just was such a good versatile fragrance. That being said, the performance on this candle, I'm going to give this one, it had about a strength and throw of around like a 5, I would say. I did have to use an Illuma lid, and then I did put it in, I had like a Bath and Body Works candle holder that would kind of present some extra heat around the paraffin here. And that was the way that I was able to get the most strength and throw out of this. If I would have thrown it in a hurricane, it probably would have done the same thing. Um, Will I repurchase this fragrance? No, just because this doesn't tend to be my favorite format with Yankee. I don't really love paraffin wax. I'm definitely more of like a soy wax burner. But it was a good fragrance for me, and I did burn it primarily in my guest bathroom, and I got a lot of compliments on it. Another candle that I finished burning is a Caramel Sundays Hansel and Gretel, or Hansel and Gretel. Now, this fragrance was a very nice, like gingerbread type of fragrance. Not as spicy gingerbread as HOMEWORX' take on it, which you guys all know that I really love the way that HOMEWORX does their gingerbread fragrances. But this is still really nice. It was very gooey smelling. It was not as gooey as their warm cinnamon buns, which I'm actually burning right now. That definitely has more of like a cinnamon roll dough note to it. This smelled more like gingerbread to me. It was a very strong performer. I would say it was a good strength and throw, probably around close to a 9 in terms of strength and throw in my home. This is a 100% soy wax. It did burn very well. The only thing I will say is that there is a little bit of soot that accrues once you get like towards the bottom of the vessels, and that is I think that's just the nature of the wicks on this candle. I have started to get into the habit with my Caramel Sundays fragrances or the candles, where I, after about every 2 hours, I go and I just trim the wicks and then relight, because that is a way that I've been able to prevent some extra or like excess sooting. Like I said, I think it's the design of these vessels where they kind of catch some soot. But overall, you guys, this was a great fragrance. I would highly recommend it if it returns later on this year. Where did the lid go to that? Really, really good one. And I actually think that I would repurchase that fragrance for a gingerbread scent. A Bath and Body Works candle that very much disappointed me was cinnamon spiced vanilla. Fragrance notes on here are fresh ground cinnamon, sugar crystals, Tahitian vanilla bean. So this candle, yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of scent left in here, not much. I love this fragrance on cold. I know that a couple of people have said that it bears some similarities to HOMEWORX' Hot Cider Donut. I can see like it's a kind of like sugared beignets, not as like cidery, I guess I would say, as Hot Cider Donut. You definitely get that like fried dough accord in this candle. Unfortunately for me, I got the puny wicks. Like I didn't even get halfway through the burn on this candle. You'll probably see it in the close up. I didn't even get halfway to down on this when the wicks started deading out on me, and I started to get that kind of like burned, sooty tinge to the fragrance that it was giving off. So I did decide to go ahead and put it in my candle crock, and it did perform quite well in there. I will say that that was kind of the route to go. But as for me, I know everybody is different. I really use my candle crocks as a last resort. I don't like using my candle crocks because I feel I'm somebody who craves variety. And I feel like when I stick a candle in my crock, I want the fragrances in my home to complement each other as I move from room to room. I'll usually have one in my master bedroom, one out here in the living room. I don't have a huge house. So I don't want clashing fragrances. So this is a fragrance that, while I feel like it was a good gourmand fragrance, I didn't feel like it went with everything. And so sometimes it's hard for me to stick candles. Like I really, really try to get a good burn out of candles before I will resort to going to a candle crock. But unfortunately, this one I had to because the fragrance was being altered. Once I put it in the candle crock, strength and throw on it was good in the crock. But prior to that, like I said, I wasn't getting great strength and throw. Maybe a maximum of like a 6 in my bedroom. But yeah, much better performance in the crock. But I don't know, you guys. I know that I don't think I'm in the minority because I've heard other people talk about this. But I've had a couple of Bath and Body Works candles recently perform well for me. But I would say, on the whole, starting with the fall candles from Bath and Body Works, I would say maybe about like 60% of them have just not been performing well for me. I've had to crock them, I've had to dump wax, I had to exchange them. The wicks were getting bad, the fragrance was altering, or I wasn't getting good strength or throw. So I know a lot of you guys, I know some of you guys get upset with me because you think that I'm hating on Bath and Body Works all the time. But I'm just being honest and saying that my burn experience, I have not had a great burn experience with them. I would give them a lot more of my money and I would purchase from them a lot more often if I could get some consistency with the performance of their wicks and not getting sooty, dirty wax. So I promise you guys, I still do give them a chance when there's a really, really good sale, but that is really going to be my mantra going forward with Bath and Body Works. I have to be getting these candles from Bath and Body Works for a really, really cheap price in order to give them a try, because I've just been really disappointed lately with them. Another fragrance that I finished burning, I don't know what I did with the lid on this, but this is Kringle Candle Reserve Pinecone and Clove. I do believe that I did a post-burn review on this. Fragrance notes are cedar, fir needle, wood, spice, clove, and citrus. And I thought that those were some interesting fragrance notes because quite truthfully, when I ordered this one, I didn't receive this in PR. I did order it. I was expecting a much more woody fragrance. I don't know, you guys. This is a really hard fragrance for me to describe. It's wintertime soapy. I guess that's the way that I could describe it. It's definitely unique, a little bit perfumey. Yeah, see, like I don't really smell like fir needle. Wood, I get spice. Maybe I do smell a little bit of clove in here. And I think the citrus note that would be in here, it's not anything like citrus. Like I wouldn't smell that and be like, oh, wow, that's a citrus note. Maybe like a bergamot. but it smelled soapy to me. This one I honestly did finish burning outside out on my back porch. Being here in Arizona, we are still able to enjoy our out. Actually, this is the time of year where we do tend to enjoy the outdoors a little bit more. So I did finish burning this one outside. This one did have an excellent strength and throw in my house, a good solid, I would say 8. So yeah, it's not going to be a repurchase for me. I didn't love this one. You guys know if it ends up outside, it usually means that, like, I don't want to say it's a hate burn, but I'm kind of beyond the point where I feel like passing it on. But I'm over it at the same time. So it won't be a repurchase for me, but I did finish burning that one. Let's see, a HOMEWORX candle that I finished burning was Snow Angels. Now, I think I had received this one in PR, and I think I did do a post-burn review on this. Fragrance notes on Snow Angels are candied cranberry, raspberry cream, crystallized vanilla, and sandalwood. This fragrance, surprisingly, you guys, this is not a fragrance that I typically would have ordered. I'm not somebody who typically gravitates towards like really candied, sweet fragrances. It's just not really my jam. But this is actually really nice. I get that berry note. You get some crystallized sugar. There's an element of this that kind of reminds me of cotton candy. Um, I actually finished burning this a couple of days ago alongside, I have a Lux size of the HOMEWORX Spun Vanilla Sugar, and that was a really good combination. It was nice and sweet in here, but this has a little bit more of like a berry note with it, whereas Spun Vanilla Sugar has, there's a slight hint of lemon in that. It's not a lemon candle, but they complemented each other very, very well. And I am going to say that this candle got stronger as I burned it more. Like once I hit the halfway point on this candle, this candle started out very, very light for me the first couple of burns. By the midway point, it was doing a lot better. But by the end, this candle was throwing a good solid 7.5 for me, which was a far cry from where it began. So this is a fragrance that I like. I'm not sure that I would go out of my way to repurchase it again. But I did enjoy it during the time that I did have it. A candle that you guys know, I've talked about this one a few times here. I did finish the Truffle Butter Cookie from Caramel Sundays. And if you've seen any of my recent videos, I talked about how this was a fragrance that, it's funny, I didn't really like this as much on cold sniff, but this fragrance totally transforms upon burn. And it was like the opposite of Bath and Body Works version of their cookie butter truffle. That one I liked on cold, but when it was burning, I didn't like it. This fragrance was so good. Very, very strong performer. This is probably one of the strongest candles that I bought all of last year. This fragrance filled up my living room. I would give this one is almost a 10 for me in terms of strength and throw. It threw, if I was burning it out here in the living room, it was throwing into my bedroom. It was throwing into the bedrooms on the other side of the house. And after I extinguished this candle, I know I think I've talked about this. There was one day that I extinguished this candle. I burned it in the morning. I went and ran some errands, came back 3 hours later, and my house still smelled like this fragrance. It was a powerhouse for me. So I would highly, highly recommend this if it comes back. I'm not sure if I will repurchase it. I probably would, just because it's kind of a unique fragrance in terms of a gourmand. You get a little bit of like this smells almost like cookie dough in the weirdest way. It's a very dense, rich cookie. It's not chocolate chip cookies. It's not oatmeal cookies. I don't know. It's like a really, really rich gourmand cookie fragrance. That's the best way that I can describe it. But this one was a total powerhouse for me. Another fragrance from Bath and Body Works that did I finish this one? Yeah, I did. Is Vanilla Balsam. This is the first year that I had Vanilla Balsam. I think I actually went in and exchanged one of the candles I bought on Candle Day. Which one was it? I think it was the cinnamon sugared pecans I exchanged for Vanilla Balsam. So the fragrance notes on Vanilla Balsam are balsam fir, frosted vanilla, snow-capped pine needles. I know a lot of people love this fragrance year in and year out. And I had said that this fragrance was kind of like the midway point between the iced winter balsam and fresh balsam. This is kind of like got the best of both worlds. I did enjoy this fragrance. It paired really, really nicely with another candle that I'm going to talk about here in just a moment. But I did enjoy it. I could see myself repurchasing this fragrance next year from Bath and Body Works. Is it anything that like I feel like I need backups of it? No. Would I be disappointed if I didn't get my hands on it again next year? Also, no. I would say that I think I liked the Iced Winter Balsam a little bit better than this one, but this was still a nice fragrance. Strength and throw on this one was okay for me. I want to say that it fluctuated. It started out a little bit stronger and then it kind of decreased as the burn went on. It's kind of funny how I have that happen. HOMEWORX, it's the opposite. HOMEWORX candles I find tend to start out a little bit weaker and they improve with strength. But for whatever reason, a lot of my most recent Bath and Body Works purchases, a lot of them start out strong and then they weaken with successive burns. So I don't know what's going on over there, but this is a good fragrance. I know it's a fan favorite. A lot of people really, really enjoy that. The fragrance that I was burning that vanilla balsam with was A Christmas Story from Caramel Sundays. This is kind of like their take on an orange pomander type of scent. Really, really like this one. This is a fresh, vibrant, juicy orange, but there is some spice in there. You get some clove and a little bit of cinnamon in this fragrance. It's interesting to sample orange pomander scents across different brands. I think every brand, some of them put a little bit more orange, some put a more vibrant orange, some people balance it out and give more like of a clove or a spice note to it. Like I've always enjoyed Yankee Candle's Holiday Zest, which I didn't get this year, but that one has more like spice to it than it does like juicy orange. This is very much juicy orange and clove, but I get more cinnamon in this one. Kringle Candle's Away in a Manger. You guys all know that's probably my favorite winter orange, but I would say that this one would probably be a close second place to that. I really, really enjoyed this fragrance. Um, Again, good strength and throw on this. I'm going to say, you guys, the Caramel Sundays, I have been pretty impressed with a lot of their candles. I know that my first round of purchases from them were very vanilla heavy fragrances. And truthfully, you guys, I think I've just concluded that across the board, most brands, vanilla based fragrances just don't seem to perform very well in my home. I don't know if it's the ceiling heights, I don't know if it's the room designs, but most vanilla based fragrances don't do well. But the purchases that I have made since then from Caramel Sundays, their candles have been performing quite well in my home. I also did get some feedback from all of you guys from the candle chat. I do plan to do a preview video for you guys prior to their next launch, which is happening January 26th. So make sure you guys keep your eyes peeled for that. All right, let's see. What other candle do I want to talk about here? Here's a candle that I talked about in candle chat last week. This is Rum Cafe. I did finish burning this. This is a candle that was sent to me in PR as part of the Christmas collection from Kringle. Ooh, that one is so good. Fragrance notes on this are butter, nut, spice, caramel, cream, and vanilla. And I had mentioned that this is such a good balance between, it's a very savory, buttery fragrance, but there's the sweetness in here of an authentic chewy caramel. And I love this fragrance because I've mentioned this several times with Kringle. Them in particular, when they put butter or caramel notes in a lot of their fragrances, it can come across a little bit scorched to my nose, but this candle, it didn't do that. This one was just very, very well done. There's almost like a saltiness to it as well. I really, really enjoyed this candle. Will I be purchasing a backup of it? No, I don't think I will. I enjoyed it for what it was, but it's not one that I necessarily see myself needing more of. But my family really enjoyed it. My husband in particular really liked that fragrance. And then here's a candle that we all know, one of my favorites, Pistachio and Toasted Vanilla from Bath and Body Works. Now you're going to see in here, the wax is not all gone because what happened to it? It did end up in the candle crock. Say it with me. I joked on my candle chat video. My friend Greg from All About Candles talked about how much he likes this fragrance as well. He had left a comment and I told him, I said, yeah, I know. I love this fragrance so much. I can't quit it. I'm stuck in this like toxic relationship with this toxic candle. Because I do still have two more of these in my collection. I did purchase the 2024 release. That's the one that I have two of. This was from 2023, so I'm hoping the 2024 version will burn a little bit better. But yeah, unfortunately, this one, it had to go in the candle crock for me because, again, it was getting super sooty. I did have to dump some wax to try to adjust the wicks. They were still not burning right for me, and it, of course, was impacting the fragrance and the strength and throw. So, womp womp, that one had to end up in the candle crock. We'll talk about a candle that I just did a post-burn review on earlier this week. This is HOMEWORX' Red Velvet Cake. I had mentioned that I had purchased this for $15 when Good Morning America had some screaming deals around Black Friday last year. Fragrance notes on this are baked velvet cake, fluffy cream frosting, buttercream filling, and cocoa powder. And I went back and forth with you guys saying, like, I'm not sure if this is actually like a red velvet cake, but I think I have concluded there is an aspect of this that has to be red velvet cake because it's not chocolate cake, it's not vanilla cake, it's not a strawberry cake, obviously it wouldn't be. It smells like cake with a slight hint of cocoa, again, not a chocolate fragrance. I don't really get any buttercream frosting in here. I don't get like a frosting note in this one at all. Um but yeah, it's a good cake fragrance. My problem with this one was that it did not have great strength and throw. I would have liked for it to have been stronger. It got better around the halfway point, but again, one of those candles where the first burn, it was pretty much non-existent in terms of strength and throw. It performed best in my closed concept master bedroom. This one I think is still available over at QVC. I said the only way that I would repurchase this is if it was on like a super, super deep discount and I just plan to let it sit for a year to see maybe if it would cure and get a little bit stronger. The wicks performed very well for me on this one though, so that's always a plus. But yeah, I don't know, you guys. I wanted that one to be a lot stronger, but the fragrance itself was very, very nice. I don't think I love that cake fragrance as much as the birthday cake candle from HOMEWORX. That is still probably my favorite cake fragrance from the Slatkin & Co. brand, but it was nice. Another HOMEWORX candle that I finished burning was Snow Tipped Pine. Now, this one I did go through quite quickly. The fragrance notes on Snow Tipped Pine are pine needles, alpine juniper, white birch, and woods. And I'm going to tell you guys, this is a fragrance that I've always loved. I've always loved burning it like after the holidays, right around the new year. I will typically burn this with an orange pomander fragrance like A Christmas Story or Kringle's Away in a Manger. But I'm going to tell you something about this candle this year. It may be my nose. Something smells a little bit different about it this year, and I'm not enjoying it as much as I remember enjoying it in previous years. And of course, this is the fragrance that I do have a backup of in my collection. My mother-in-law loves this fragrance though, so I could always give it to her. But yeah, you guys, this one, I don't know what it is about this fragrance this year. Maybe one of you guys got in my head. One of you guys commented and said you purchased this, and when you burned it, all you could smell was celery juice. And I like, now that I think that's gotten into my head because I'm like, it does smell a little bit like celery. I don't know. So I don't know if they altered something from years past, or maybe my fragrance preferences are changing. But I don't see myself repurchasing this one next time. Now, the label on this is absolutely stunning when it is burning, which HOMEWORX always seems to knock it out of the park with their labels. But yeah, this one I did get decent strength and throw from. I would say this one was probably around like a 7. I feel like I remember it being stronger in years past. But yeah, something about this one just seemed a little bit off this year. So I don't think I'm going to repurchase that one going forward. But a candle that I have already repurchased, if you saw my Kringle 3-wick haul that I posted, I think a couple of days ago. At this point, I'm always pre-filming, so I'm like, wait, when am I planning to put that video up? Warm and Toasty. We all know I love this fragrance so much. So the fragrance notes on Warm and Toasty are cedar, smoke, sweet, marshmallow, amber, and sugar. So if you saw that candle haul, spoiler alert if you haven't, I did repurchase another 3-wick in that fragrance. I initially received this fragrance in the large 2-wick in PR when Kringle sent me their fall releases way back over the summer. And I burned through that baby all the way through. I burned through this one, and then I made a repurchase. This fragrance to me, I love it. This is like, for those, I've mentioned that if you like Marshmallow Fireside from Bath & Body Works, this has a little bit more amber note to it and a little bit more slight smokiness, I would say. And then you get the sweetness of marshmallow in there. I like this take on it. It just pairs so nicely with a lot of my autumnal fragrances as well as my winter fragrances. Just absolutely love this one. And the performance on this 3-wick was incredible. Strength and throw almost of around like an 8.5 in terms of this one. It was a very, very solid performer for me. So I was glad to have been able to purchase another backup of it for like, I think it was like $10.60. So I did mention in that Kringle video, I know that there's been a little bit of a hullabaloo in the Kringle Facebook group. Mick Kittredge has notified the Kringle faithful that at some point in 2025, they will be doing away with this current iteration of the 3-wicks, as well as a plan maybe to phase out the country candle vessels. However, for those of you who love 3-wicks, just know it's okay. What we've seen some previews for what is going to be replacing this, and I think everybody's going to be just fine. So, anyways, yeah, I did finish burning that. So at the midpoint of January, I have already burned through, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No, that can't be right. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, well, I guess I've already burned through 13 candles. And I did mention in the candle chat video, I think I mentioned this, that I'm really excited. I have been able to find a local florist who is more than happy to take some of these empty vessels off of my hands. I feel great that they are being recycled or repurposed and getting some extended life. So feel free to comment down below if you have finished burning any of these candles or if you're currently working through any of these fragrances in your collection. I would love to hear your feedback in the comment section. Again, please hit thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.